Hello, everybody. Carlos X360 here. We're going to talk about Xbox Next Generation. There's an article right there, and it's from maybe 6 months ago, I think, talking about Next Generation. But there was a thought that came into my head just recently. Um, so, in my head, I was thinking of Devil's Advocate kind of storyline. So, what if Xbox One succeeded? What if, Don Matrick didn't fumble his words? If Don Matrick didn't unveil Xbox One the way it was, or Microsoft rushed technology the way they did? Because here's the thing, what Sony managed to do with PlayStation, the brand itself, is amazing. Um, it was a product of timing, yes, okay, but I would venture to say that Sony didn't like panic, if you know what I mean. I have to do this technology. I have to do this technology. I have to do this. I have to do this. And I think Xbox and Microsoft was panicking way too early. They were iterating technology way too early. They were implementing technology way too early. Okay? If Microsoft hadn't released Xbox as a digital only game console, okay? Because that was the plan. The plan was to release a digital only game console. That's why they released that Xbox One as DRM ready. You have to check the disk to send it to the server to authenticate the disk, and I can correlate this to the Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards. So when you put the card, I have not used Nintendo Switch 2, so pardon my ignorance, but the way that I read it is when you buy the cartridge, the game key card, okay, you put it in the cartridge, it DRMs like on the cartridge, and then it tells the server this is my download, and then I want you to authenticate this game key card. Okay, so that's why when you were able to sell that cartridge, um, and then sell it to another person, it authenticates the game as yours, even though it's not yours. Um, it's authenticating the actual game key card. With the disk, it's authenticating that disk, that one line of code to tell the server this is ours. Okay, so that technology was way too early. If Microsoft had just kept to the business model of Xbox 360, Xbox One would have succeeded when Xbox 360 did. Okay? So when everybody looks at you, Xbox, they see like, oh my god, you guys are stupid. How you fumbled that hard. And then Xbox Series consoles, more mistakes were made. And it's not even the consoles by itself. It's actually a normal game console now. But the problem, again, is with the branding. Okay, so Xbox One destroyed the brand completely from day one. And then when you keep going years and years and years and years, that number goes like this. It's not a timing thing with Xbox. No, it's not. The next Xbox is going to fail. The what Ally Xbox model, I think it's failing. But Microsoft is going to subsidize it on the Xbox Cloud subsidy. Okay, so then yeah, if Microsoft had just kept doing what they did with Xbox 360 and not screw everything up, fuck everything up, we would have had a revisionist history where Xbox is number two. And it's not even because um of timing. It's because you kept the business going on the next generation after Xbox 360. The reason why PlayStation is successful, it's not just a branding issue. It's not just a timing issue. Okay, so PlayStation was selling really well because of um the Japanese interest in selling more PlayStations. And then at the same time, Sony was red hot with the TVs, the Walkmans, and all that kind of stuff, technology stuff. So it came right at the right time. That is the timing thing. But PlayStation 2 was double. And it is not because of timing either. DVD was successful, so they implemented into their console, and it was a cheaper DVD player. So everybody bought it. I could argue it's a branding issue and a timing issue at the same time, but it's not timing like with the original PlayStation. PlayStation is the cool kid in the block, like Genesis. But PlayStation 2 just built up on that success. PlayStation 3 went down a little bit, but rebounded. But we were facing a recession. So Sony had like a black eye and somehow, but they rebounded because they have like a tent pole brand system. So you have your Metal Gear Solids, you have your Crash Bandicoots, you have your Wipeouts, you have your Call of Duties, you have your Maddens. Those helped. So why did Xbox One fail? It's because Microsoft tried to do too much at once. I talked about this on the last video about Xbox. I'm gonna have this linked at the end of this video, but if Microsoft had just kept going from Xbox to Xbox 360 and then Xbox One succeed more by not innovating too much. Let me put another example, okay? Nintendo Wii released, and it was a revolutionary device, and it was only one revolutionary, innovative technology. Just one. Just one. It did not mess with the background stuff. No DRM. It did not have like something that made people angry. It just had little stuff here and there. It was like a next generation GameCube. That's all it was. Okay? So then Wii U came out. Wii U came out and fumbled. And it's not because of the innovation. Okay? It's because of the name and the timing as well. If Nintendo had just waited a little longer to let the technology idea cook a little bit more, we would have had a Nintendo Switch situation. Because to me, Wii U is like the precursor to Nintendo Switch console. Hybrid console. So, what's that to say? I think Microsoft rushed a little too much. The idea of digital only game console at the time was way too much for a lot of people. And I think that the next generation Xbox right here, a collaboration between AMD and Xbox, that next generation console is a hybrid. And I think they got inspired by Nintendo Switch 2. But then that is way too late. The thing is, the hybrid idea is cloud and download. It's the same thing that you're going to get with the Steam machine. So you have a Steam account, you download it to your Steam machine, off you go. I don't know what other features there are gonna be in that Steam machine. So that's the way I see it right now. This is not confirmed, so please bear with me. Um, but Xbox, what Xbox wants to do is um eliminate the self-published physical media thing, because each publisher has to share revenue around, okay? The manufacturer of the discs, the manufacturer of the boxes, and then the licensing fees, the developer, oh That is horrible, by the way. So the software developer kit is now $1,000 for many developers. So that's gonna push away a lot of developers now. Um, and then you have that's just they're trying to cut the middleman now. They're trying to do the Netflix thing, but you can in this industry you cannot change the industry like this. It takes time. And I don't think Microsoft understands that. And I think that's my devil's advocate for this video. Because I was just thinking, what if Xbox One succeeded? What if Xbox Series succeeded? We would have had a war of consoles on the level of Nintendo and Sega, with Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And but the thing is, what Microsoft wants to do with the new hybrid console and the new ROG Ally, because the ROG Ally Xbox model is not the final Xbox hardware. No. The final Xbox handheld hardware. No. No, 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 no. They want to make their own Xbox handheld. They're just testing that ROG Ally. Because that Xbox handheld is going to be 100% Xbox uh operating system. They said it in a interview. I mean, not interview. They said it in an article, but that article says that it's gonna use the uh Windows operating system, but that's gonna be stripped down and be used as like a uh um Xbox specific operating system, if that makes sense. So strip down window to run Xbox. So yeah. So that's just something I was just thinking. Because the industry is not easy to change on a whim. And I think that's what Microsoft wanted to do. They wanted to be the agent of change. And you can't do that. Okay? Other companies do follow suit, but the problem is there's a lot of people who like physical media. There's a lot of people who will buy physical media. There's a lot of people who will buy game consoles, but all these problems are adding up to a gaming crash, and then we have to rewire what we think. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Uh, I had another thought in my head when I was thinking of this, but I was interrupted by something else. But yeah, that's the gist of what I'm thinking. Um, Microsoft really needs to stop trying to change everything in rapid succession. You need to do it little by little, little by little. You did it with the Xbox 360. with little innovations here and there. Let it seep in. So that's my thought for today. Like, subscribe, share, talk about College Tech 360. Stay awesome. I'll see you guys later.